basically on prospects of birds and small animals. So just to make the industry more inclusive and diverse, this happens to be a very important conversation that we think that we can have. So without further ado, I would like to invite on stage Dr. Shiwani Tandel, founder of the Exotic Vet, Mr. Bharat Pittie, Director of Orange Pet Nutrition, Mr. Prabakar Ramasamy, CEO of Taiyo Feed Mill, and Mr. Rahul Jain, Director of Birdies. I request the moderator to take over.
I'll just introduce the topic. So since we only have half an hour, we're cut down by 15 minutes. In the interest of time, I'm going to go over this topic really, really quickly. We are a niche market. Pet is a niche market. And we're even smaller. Exotics is even smaller. However, in the last 10 to 15 years, birds, reptiles, and small mammals have gained popularity. And these non-traditional pets, they're creating a demand, an increase, and a rise in specialized products that have to be included or added to the market. Never did we know that birds ate more than only seeds. Now we have pellets, we have treats. Never did we know that pet food for reptiles only was restricted to birds. Now we have, to turtles and tortoises. Now we have snakes, iguanas, and the opportunities are large. I think we just need these are specialized care needs, and they need to be addressed carefully. It's challenging to take care of these animals. It's not like how we do it in dogs and cats. Their needs are different, their biology is different, and the attention to detail is very, very minuscule. And if that is not met, this passion that people have for keeping exotics will go downhill very rapidly. And I believe that there is a lot of opportunity for growth, because not only is it pet trade in the exotics, but there is also a lot of wildlife conservation that goes hand in hand with this trade. So yes, there are a lot of people who are picking up wildlife and expecting us as veterinarians to start treating them. And we unfortunately do not have the kind of food available to be able to nurture these animals, or even the information for that matter, because we have a very large and biodiverse wildlife. So there is definitely an overlap between veterinary advancements and conservation efforts. And in an effort to understand this growing product or market need, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the organizers for including this very important topic that I have been very sensitive for the last 15 years. I started practice about 15 years ago, and I used to see probably only 1 or 2 exotics in a month, and now we see more than 15 in a day. So over to our session. What do you think has the Indian market, how is it evolved for exotics in the last 10 years?
Hi everyone, good afternoon. And I'll not take much of your time to take you away from your lunch. So the question what you have asked, 10 years time span, is quite like very big span. What has, here in pet industry in India, it's like being century has passed in this 10 years. So like if we see 10 years back, there was a very few pet shops in non-metro towns. You hardly found any pet shops in non-metro towns, majorly were in metros like Delhi, Mumbai and big cities. But now you can find pet shops in rural India also. There are veterinaries working there. The brands majorly 10 years back were like imported brands, majorly foreign brands. You can see there are very few brands from India, but now it has changed a lot. Like we Indian brands, a lot of Indian brands are working and they are doing really very good. So things has changed a lot in terms of pet ownership also. They have more reliable, more educated, more you can say careful pet owners nowadays. So also I think the social media has done their part, which has educated the pet parents to how to take care, how to nourish their, they're nourishing their pets like a kid nowadays. So it has changed a lot in the last 10 years.
Any statistics that anybody can offer? Just, like statistics? Any statistics? But if not, you can take your time to think about it. We can. All right, never mind. So what are the issues while importing products, Bharat, if you could?
Good afternoon, everybody. So, importing products for small animals and birds, I think there are no set regulations till now. So, we always, when we try to get in something new, as you said, that a lot of times the small animals or birds products are not there. So, we don't know what to feed them the right way. But when we try to get them in also, because the regulatory is not clear, we a lot of times get stuck at the port, and we have to find a way out to get the goods cleared. So it's very uncertain till now. Some of the products, yes, like bird seeds and some of the things we are able to get, but whenever we try to get something new which is not clear, the regulatory is not very good at that point of time.
Yeah. And is there any issues with getting raw products versus formulated products into the Indian market, for example, like because of disease?
Definitely, I think because raw is always been a issue while trying to get in terms of raw meat or raw plants or seeds that are raw. So people would, the port authorities would think of it as that you would bring these seeds in for growing,
Yes.
or for sowing,
Yes.
but they would not understand that this seed would be meant to feed the birds or feed the exotics. So
And I think they also don't know that they're not really productive. These seeds you can't really.
they cannot
They can't germinate.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So what is the consumption of these products in the Indian, like the local market versus the ones in the cities? Both of you all can answer actually.
What consumption?
Consumption of food
Ah.
in the cities versus, the interiors, the rural areas. Is there a large disparity?
Yeah, it's a large disparity because when, as my company, we are selling in a lot of, if I doing 400 tons, we are selling in rural is a very lesser and city is a more.
Yeah.
So difference is 60 to 40.
Oh.
60 and 40.
All right. Yeah, you would know.
I will like to bring a notice that majorly the metro cities market is, you can say, the presence of more imported brands. But in rural area, there are not important brands there.
Yes.
Domestic brands are more, popular in rural area, and that's a plus point for us Indian brands.
Yeah. And is it like, do they look to, are they looking at the same type? For example, if there is a particular seed mix that somebody is selling, it's an imported seed mix. Are they looking for similarity in, what all seeds are there, or is it the packaging? What are they looking at?
Yeah, that's true. They are looking for the similar kind of products, and frankly speaking, I noticed that the Indian brands are doing much better than the imported one. The seed mix, what we are offering in India, like Taiyo also, we are also, what we are offering, they are much better in quality than the foreign brands, because basically the foreign brands are importing many of raw ingredients from India out. We have our own sector of this export and import of ingredient food, which our parent company do, and we supply to many of the bird food manufacturer in foreign countries, and they are using our ingredients, making their food, and then re-exporting it to India. So our formulation is nowhere lesser than that. The quality is much better. The seeds what we are using, the number of seeds what we are using are higher than that. So
Again, while feeding my birds, I will think 100 times whether the seeds that I am feeding, for example, if I am feeding them seeds, What about the pesticides? How do we deal with that issue? Because, if we think about organic, it's going to be expensive. And residues are going to be there in seeds because they have a higher fat amount in them, whereby the pesticides are going to be stored in it. So is there any way that you process these seeds before packaging them, or,
See, for processing for pesticide, if we just talk about pesticide, it's very expensive. It can be handled at the at origin only. When we procure, we've been in this business from the last 30 years or more for this ingredient business. So at the time of purchasing only, we have a set suppliers. We know how they are practicing. We have a team of farmers there in Chhattisgarh back there, and around Madhya Pradesh and all this region. So at the time of purchasing only, we control that. We do random tests. We do in-house tests. We do third-party survey also. Then it comes in processing, where we do mechanical processing, and we own our own 2-3 cold storage back there, and we store the products there so that we can control the pest infestation and external contamination, so that the nutrient values of that seeds remain same without any external treatment, and it can be used to process in good quality.
Yeah. Okay. So, sir, for you, since your Taiyo is very big with turtles, I know everybody comes with a bottle of Taiyo that this is what we feed my turtle. We know that these packaged foods, okay, is all these animals are being fed. Do you think it is enough? And do you think it is a balanced meal, or do we need to give more?
See, what we produce for the turtles, for example, whatever the required nutrition level, that level we are giving the formula. So for example, they need 35% protein. There is a 35% protein in the final product. And the calcium is very important for the shell. So we maintain the calcium and phosphorus very important in the turtles. And all the whatever needs for the turtle, it is ensured in the packet, in the food. So you don't need additional added vitamins or minerals not required. If you want to feed fresh fruits or vegetables, it's optional to give. It's also enjoyed.
Yes. So
It's completely balanced.
right, but then do you ask? Do you educate people? Do you have?
Yeah, in each and every packaging, we are giving how to feed, how to maintain the turtles, and also today the social media is
Yes.
very popular. We are giving advertisement in how to maintain the turtles, what food is good for turtles. So
Right.
the social media also we are promoting.
And then what are your views on FDA approval? Do these products require FDA approval?
See, currently in India, no need FDA and FSSAI in the pet food manufacturing. Still, we are the manufacturer, we set some standards. We take FSMS, Food Safety and Standard, ISO 22000. So we maintain, this will help us to give a proper process in the feed.
Right.
So then the sourcing the raw material is very important. So we are sourcing with the right people, getting right raw material. After getting the raw material, we will test inside. In-house and outsourcing, we test the raw material. Then only we will take the production. Even we take the production also, again we will test. We ensure that the nutrition value is correct. Then only we will send the dispatch.
Right. And then, Bharat, question for you is that we see, like, for example, small mammals. We have we have a huge market for small mammals over here. And, they eat something as simple as hay. And that hay is Timothy hay. Now, we know that because it is imported, it is quite expensive. Some people can afford it, some people can't. What are your views on how we can make this food available to a larger population? Is there any alternative? Is there any substitute in the form of pellets that is more nutrient dense and can provide the same benefit?
Pellets, but obviously give 100% of nutrition. Hay is what they love because that is what they have been feeding when they are in the wild. So that is what they know of.
Yes.
But if you feed on a pellet diet, and you train them, they eventually shift onto that and they can live a very long life. So I think that is the best solution, because
Can you give me sort of a number, because as to how much people, I mean, for example, for rabbits, how much food, how much should people keep aside in terms of money for food per month? Like how you have similar standards for dogs and cats, because they just go overboard, sometimes, and they're like, no, we can't do this, and that's why, we're feeding fruits and vegetables, and most of the times I'm like, it's not necessary
I think maybe 1,000, 1,200
per animal.
per-
Per animal.
what I think they should be spending a month
Yeah.
on a small
Small rabbit. Unfortunately, these rabbits eat all the time. So
Yeah.
that is. But yeah, I mean, point well taken. And also about, the new Parivesh rules, the wildlife laws that have come into the country, where everything has to be registered. And I'd like an input from all of y'all if y'all have any points of views.
See, the wildlife, now I think they release, I think now.
Yeah.
Now, see, now there is a restriction. If you put government, there is illegal things comes every day. You see in Chennai, yesterday also, 200 turtles come from the smuggling. So the similar things happen in aquatics. 10 years before, you cannot be able to import aquarium fishes. It's a ban.
Yeah.
So everyone smuggle. Now then we approach the association to approach Marine Products Development Authority. We need these fishes. Then they listed these fishes, then import. Now we importing $1. Now they're producing in India. They're selling 20 cents now. So now we are exporting from here. So similar things, we need import all the pets also. Once we import, we produce here, then we export a lot. There is a lot of opportunity.
Well, that is one way of looking at it. What do you think would be the effect on trade of after
There is a
this?
lot of the big
Is it
dogs.
positive?
It's a stop dog, big dogs. Then it's a food consumption also. It's affect the entire business will be affected.
Yeah, yeah. So, no, we're talking basically right now about birds. So, do you think right now, after these new wildlife laws, you think the sales will bump up? Because, yes, there is a lot of birds that are being bred in captivity. For reptiles, there are a lot of people who are importing iguanas and turtles and things like that. And yes, they will be bred and they will go out. But do you think in the next 5 years, because of these laws, you think there will be an increase in trade?
Definitely will increase. Definitely the small animals and reptiles will be increased up to 5%
All right.
compared to dog and cat business.
Yeah, yeah.
What I think, majorly what we are dealing in organized sector. So the pets, the life, this livings, this what we call pet, the reptiles and this all pets, what we are importing, this comes into organized channel. Okay. Earlier it was being done in illegal ways. So after introducing this wildlife law, the Parivesh 2 and all, everything will come in legal channel. So it will definitely boost our business. Definitely for a time being, the pet shops and breeders are suffering because they are not knowing which animals are allowed, which are not allowed. We hear every day the raids has been happened to some pet shop, some breeders, and the birds has been freed from there. So this is happening nowadays. But in long run, if you see, definitely it will help us because it will get everything in a organized channel and it will smooth the way of doing business.
Yeah. And then do you do any sort of surveys to understand how the market is growing, over here in your companies? Do you do any organized surveys?
surveys, I don't think so. For us, the sales talk. So if the sales are sales go up for a certain product or a certain type of a product, we know that these are the animals that have started growing.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
what is your view in the last 5 years? What do you think has been?
I think the small animal definitely is moving up. There is no doubt about it. But still, I think education is very less with the pet parent.
Yeah.
the last 5 years, yes, there are more and more vets now starting to get into the small animal exotic space. I remember 10 years back, you were one of the only vets, and it was quite tough for the pet parent even to find a vet.
Yes.
So I think yes, it is a growing space,
Yeah.
but it is way far behind the dog and cat. Way far
Right.
behind. So the counts are very small. It is not still so big.
I guess, yeah, in a way, the population is small, but the the number of pets per person is definitely more if you look at that space, because no person will keep only one bird. They will keep multiples because they're relatively small. And what are your views also about we see a lot of people having pets, but not as much that are reflecting into veterinary clinics, or you think there is there's a mind block about, or like a block about getting pets into veterinarians clinics.
So I think one of the major problems I think is to
Trans-
transport the pet from their house to the vet. A lot of people find that as a big task, a challenge, because they don't know how to move it, and they're scared that the pet that pet animal might run away or they might lose them. So I think that is one of the challenges that I see. And plus, I think a lot of people do self-learning. They would go on the internet and see what is there, and if there is something wrong with their pet, they would try to look at it and try to treat it themselves. So I think there is some.
Yeah, I think that has been going on for so many years that I mean, and we've just only come into the field, so they know more than us. Basically, that's the thing.
Actually, in terms of bird, in India, majorly there are lovebirds or budgies which pet owners keep, and it costs them very less. So to take them to vet is also a challenge for them. They don't want to invest that much of money for. So they go to Google nowadays. YouTube also teach them a lot. So they learn from there and they treat themselves.
Yeah.
So
But do they approach you all saying that that we have this problem, or probably your representatives or something like that?
they do.
Huh.
Sometimes we get some kind of this inquiries that we are suffering, our birds are suffering from this and this, what kind of feed we should do, what kind of medication we can do. So we get some kind of inquiries, and we definitely suggest go to vet and get a proper treatment, because we are not the right person to ask for that.
Yeah.
Fair.
So I think that sort of sums up whatever is currently going on in the in the small animal, avian and exotic animal sector. And I think this is only going to grow further. Thank you.
All right, thank you, panelists. So I request Miss Linda Ho to felicitate our speakers. Dr. Shiwani Tandel, Mr. Bharat Pittie, Mr. Prabakar Ramasamy,
Yeah.
and Mr. Rahul Jain.